wrong with talking about death. That's a part of life. Everybody gonna die. You gonna die. I'm gonna die. Bono gonna die. Hell, we all gonna die.
Well, you ain't gotta talk about it. I don't like talking about it.
What is happening, gentlemen, and welcome to another session of week 2 of our review sessions. Today we're going to analyze our favorite pair. It's a Monday today. We're analyzing DAX 40, we're analyzing US 30, and we're analyzing US 100. Today I didn't take any trades. Reason being is that when the markets were moving at 3 o'clock, it was a bit choppy and for me to make an informed decision, but here we go. Let's go through what happened today and see the lessons that we have learned today. So the first pair that we're going to start off with is DAX 40, and here we got it in front of us. This is DAX 40 on the 1 hour time frame. So before we go in depth and with our analysis, we just need to backtrack and see what happened with the market last week, right? So last week the market was in the ranging phase, and it was ranging quietly. It was ranging the entire week, right? So it was ranging the entire week. Then finally on Friday, the price broke out, right? Let's go and zoom in and see what is happening here. So on Friday, price had broke out, retested, and that was the confirmation that price has broken out of its range phase, right? So now, so it broken out its range phase. Then after it closed nicely on Friday, so it broke out, pulled back, retested, rejected the zone. As you can see, this is our rejection zone, and pushed up and closed around here, right? Let's go to our 30 minutes. 30-minute time frame. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna go in depth with our analysis. So now we got price jumping out and jumping out the zone and pushing back in, and has retested the zone. So now we in an entirely new zone. Now we've gotten out of this ranging phase. Now we're in this zone, and we have to look for trades in this zone. So first thing that we do when we analyze our charts, as you saw in the beginning of this video, is that we identify our supply zones. So our supply zones which is here, our support and our resistance zone, right? And within that we've got our minor support and minor resistance, but I'll go in depth with that a little bit more now. So now we see price again is not on really an uptrend. It's still in a ranging phase, right? So it's in a ranging phase. So when it reaches its top, we see what price does. If it rejects that price, then it pushes back down. If it's at its bottom, we'll see what price does over here, and yeah, vice versa. So how do we see if price is reversing? In this instance, when price is ranging, we won't necessarily have as much confluences as a strong uptrend. Over here is quite a limited amount of confluences that you can look out for in order for you to make an informed decision. So confluence number 1 is identify your support and resistance zones, which is your supply zones, where is the most value, where you think price will be the best place to buy or the best place to sell. So over here we can see price formed the engulfing candle, but this is also another thing. You need to be very strong with your candlestick patterns, and see how they do in reversal situations. Okay, so let's go in here. So last night on Sunday in our review sessions, as you saw, if you can look at the previous video that I posted, is that I analyzed that price would push down and break to the upside, which was, I think, option 2, right? So if price, so also the other option was option 2, if price opened up above here and it was going to push to the upside like that. So option 2 was the option to go today during German Open. So price opened like this in the AMs, it opened like that, as you can see at 2 o'clock. And it started going, so it pushed to the downtrend like I predicted. It rejected the zone, and now it's pushed to the upside. It pushed to the upside, it pushed to the upside, it pushed to the upside, and now it's gotten to our minor zone. So our minor zone is within our zone, right? And we try to find an area of value within that as well to see if we can pick trades, because I wasn't up at 2 o'clock to in the AMs to pick this trade, so I had to find a place where I could enter the trade, right? So here we got our minor zones. We got our, as you can see, this is our minor zone because this was our resistance, this was our support, this was our resistance, this was our resistance, resistance, our support, our support. So we can see it's a very strong area of value over here. So what had happened today at 9 p.m., right? So price 9 p.m. struck, volatility kicked in, and price came over here, it got up, it rejected the zone, and it pushed back to the upside. Most people had sells in here, they sold and they went to the downside, they picked it up here. So now, because we couldn't have entered here, we would wait for price to get to our next zone, right, or our next area of value. Got to this area of value and we had to see what price would do at this level. If price broke out and pushed back and retested and pushed to the downside, then there was going to be a sell signal. But as you can see, price went down, it rejected the zone, which is the area of value, as you can see over here, and you would put your buys in here and ride the trend up, right? And that is what happened to them. So that is all I got to say with DAX 40. Let's move on to US 100 or US 30. Let's move to US 30. So over here we've got our pair US 30, right? As you saw earlier on in the video, I analyzed this and you saw this is a ascending trend line, right? We've identified our areas of value, which is our support, and our resistance, which is our support trend line and resistance trend line as well. So as you can see, price is on a nice uptrend, so it's on an uptrend, so it's the break, the retest, but it's a bit of a fuzzy retest happening over here. So how was price today? Let me just see, 21st, sorry, gents, 25th. Okay, cool. So in the AMs I posted as you can see in the previous video. If you see on this previous video, price was gapping over here. So what I was waiting for price to do was to reject this zone and push back to the upside, right? So I can look for trades on this top zone within my zone, right, when it rejects the zone, right? So price broke up. So in the morning price at 1, 2, 3. Obviously I was sleeping within this time zone. So now price has broken into this zone over here. Price had broken into the zone. What I want to do is find my minor support and resistance, which is this area over here. If you go down to lower time frames, the 15 minutes, we can identify these areas of value, right? We can identify this area of value. So this was price throughout the day, it was moving here. So what I wanted to do, wait for price to get to this area, right? So this was a trade that I wanted to take, but I didn't take because of this movement here. It was a little bit too choppy, it was a little bit too busy, and there were certain things that I didn't see, right? Previously when I analyzed it during the live session, my area of value was here, which was incorrect, so which made me skip or oversee this area of value over here. So when price pushed down, I was quite lost, I was puzzled, I didn't know what to do. But now looking at it now, I shouldn't have moved my area of value, and I should have stayed where the area of value was, right? So what had happened at 3:30, price pushed up, so I was waiting. So there, 3:30. So I was a bit skeptical to enter this trade because the next TP was here, so it was a very short zone, and I didn't want to get in there. I wanted to see price break above here then pushed to the upside, then I was going to enter the trade. So what had happened, 330 had struck, price went down, it retested this area of value, it pushed to the upside. So anyone who got into this value and is still holding now is a very happy person, because of this rejection here and the move to the upside. So as you can see, if we move upwards to our higher time frames, we can see price is respecting this trend line. It is respecting this trend line quite well. Here's touch number 1, touch number 2, touch number 3, touch number 4, touch number 5. So price is respecting the zone it's quite good. So what I see, price now, it looks like it's going to break these new highs and push to the upside, but we do have company earnings this week and we'll have to see how price looks. Remember, we don't predict what the market's going to do, we're going to react to what it does, right, at that specific day. So the next pair we're going to move on to is US 100, NASDAQ, the famous NASDAQ. So as you can see, it was in a ranging form this afternoon, right? This morning, this afternoon, the last week, or the last half of the week last week. So let's get into this and let us see what is happening. So technically the whole of last week, price was bouncing in between this ranging phase, right? Price battled to break out, and price battled to break out that. So now what we do is identify areas of value, which is our support, which is our resistance. See how we see that is price rejected that zone numerous times, and when it rejected that zone, it did a complete turn and went to the support. When it rejected the zone, it did a complete turn and went to the upside. And guys, what I want you guys to also notice is what types of candlesticks are formed at these areas of values when price turns direction. So over there we can see it's an engulfing candlestick over here. This is also an engulfing candlestick, but a very big one. We've got an engulfing candlestick over here as well. We've got an engulfing candlestick over here as well. So it is very important to also know what candlestick patterns you can identify, and what candlestick and what do they really mean, what's the true meaning behind these candlestick patterns, right? So we've identified our support, our resistance, which is our areas of value, is rejection zones. Not a lot of confluences that we can identify, but yes, let us move on. We react to the market, we don't predict, right? So on the previous video that I sent, I've also got an analysis of this pair. It was a bit wrong the way that I did it. I said the prices would break to low. It's going to break our area of value over here, our support, retest and push back to the downside, which it never. So a lesson that I've learned is that whilst price is within this range, we must trade within this range, if you get what I'm saying. So if it hasn't broke to the outside, we don't analyze anything or do any predictions of what the market will do outside of the zones, right? So what price did in the morning, it opened down to the downside, it rejected the zone. When it rejected the zone, it moved to the upside, and as you can see, price moved to the upside, or whatever the case may be, it moved to the upside. I wasn't awake this time, so I missed this trade. I missed this opportunity of entering over here. So now this is where we get our minor resistance, and our minor resistance, we identify these in our lower time frames. When we identify them in our lower time frames, we see area of resistance, support, resistance, support, right? So you draw your area of value over there, and you would wait for price to retest or to reject the zone, right? So it broke out. So these over here, this is not enough confluence for me to enter the trade. So if you'd enter the trade and you had a nice decent stop loss, which is quite a big stop loss, it's about it's 40 points in the negative. 40 points in the negative. So if you did enter here and your stop loss was very tight, this trade you would have got kicked out of this trade. The more favorable entry point was going to be here. If you bought from this zone and you're riding this trend, even while it's moving right now, you are in a good situation. So as you can see, price has broken out of this trend. It's broken out of this ranging zone, and now we can expect prices forming new highs. So we're going to wait for price to form a little bit of structure, and then we'll analyze and see what opportunities we can take tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the review session, and I'll be back tomorrow with another review session of what happens in the markets. Okay.